following the tragic Dallas police shooting, in which 4 Dallas Police Department officers and 1 Dallas Area Rapid Transit (DART) police officer were gunned down by sniper fire along with 7 other officers and 2 civilians who sustained non-fatal injuries. It is now known that the deceased perpetrator was in fact a member of the radical anti-cop Huey P. Newton gun club, inspired by the old Black Panther Party. Dallas Police Chief David Brown stated in a press conference that the shooter, Micah Xavier Johnson, shown, right, was killed by the Dallas Police Department with a robot bomb, following a breakdown of negotiations during a shootout between police and Johnson. During the negotiations, Johnson told police that he was upset about Black Lives Matter, Brown told reporters, adding, "He said he was upset about the recent shootings, he was upset at white people." The suspect said he wanted to kill white people, especially white officers. Johnson, who served in the U.S. Army Reserve between 2009 and 2015, was the recipient of various medals, including the Army Achievement Medal and the NATO Medal, for his tour of duty in Afghanistan, according to the Los Angeles Times. In the press conference, Dallas Police Chief Brown also said that Johnson told police that he was not affiliated with any groups and he stated that he did this alone. However, it is now known that Johnson was in fact a member of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, a self-described armed united front named after the co-founder of the original Black Panther Party. Based in Houston, Texas, the gun club openly carries rifles while marching in the streets chanting Black Power and oink, oink, bang, bang, the latter a reference to killing white police officers, whom they refer to as pigs. Quain LX, a local community activist, told Houston's NBC local affiliate KPRC-TV Channel 2 that Johnson previously belonged to the Houston chapter of the new Black Panther Party. According to Quain L., Johnson was with the new Black Panthers for only 6 months before leaving for not obeying the chain of command. This apparent rogue member of the group also appeared in video footage, as seen below, recorded by Breitbart News, where he can be seen in formation strapped with a rifle and obediently reciting the chant, oink, oink, bang, bang. However, upon closer inspection of the footage, the shoulder patches read Huey P. Newton Gun Club, not the new Black Panther Party. The Gun Club is a separate organization and not part of the new Black Panther Party. Both the Huey P. Newton Gun Club and the new Black Panther Party wear the traditional military-style berets and militant black uniforms adorned with Black Panther imagery of the old Black Panther Party of the 1960s. Both groups also share a virulent animosity toward police officers, white people in general, and also against mainstream white liberals, whom they see as neutralizing the black voice. The openly hostile extremism of both the Huey P. Newton Gun Club and the new Black Panther Party make the Black Lives Matter organization, BLM, look tame and moderate by comparison. Unlike BLM, which advocates liberal gun control legislation, the Huey P. Newton Gun Club is vigorously pro-gun and even claims support for the Second Amendment, as evident by their numerous postings on social media, interviews, and public demonstrations. According to their official Facebook page, the club's mission statement reads, "We want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of the black community by the police state. Our position dictates that by organizing black self-defense groups dedicated to defending our black community from police repression and brutality we can find some semblance of peace. The Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution gives us a right to bear arms. We therefore believe that all black people should arm themselves for self-defense." No, the Huey P. Newton Gun Club is not pro-gun out of a love or adherence to the U.S. Constitution, but rather as a means to incite and wage revolution. As Chinese communist dictator Mao Zedong famously quipped, political power grows out of the barrel of the gun. However, neither guns nor the Second Amendment is the problem, rather, it is the violent, racist, and communist Maoist ideology of its namesake that the Gun Club promotes, which this article will further address below. The most notable difference, however, between the Huey P. Newton Gun Club and the new Black Panther Party is that the gun club carries and displays their firearms in open carry states such as Texas, while the new Black Panther Party does not, being primarily based in the North in cities such as Philadelphia, which have stricter gun control laws. While the two organizations may seem indistinguishable, the gun club comes across as even more militant and hostile with its open talk and chanting about killing the pigs. Compared to the new Black Panther Party and BLM, the Huey P. Newton Gun Club is worse. Thus it is not surprising that, considering its violent and repugnant ideology, it would be the first to breed among its members, both past and present, the idea of actual mass murder of white police officers. In fact, the main banner image on the Gun Club's official Facebook page, as of the publication time of this article, is a photograph of a club member lying on the ground in a missionary combat posture, looking through the scope of a sniper rifle. See photo, similar to the weapon used by Micah Johnson to kill the 5 police officers in Dallas. While the Huey P. Newton Gun Club outwardly projects black or Afro-American nationalism, the organization encourages its members to read the writings of Huey P. Newton, who was not just a black nationalist but a radical Maoist communist. Maoism is a form of Marxism-Leninism, as interpreted and espoused by Mao Zedong, the brutal dictator and founder of the People's Republic of China, Communist China. During the 4 years of Mao's Great Leap Forward radical communization imitative of China, at least 45 million people were killed through executions, beatings, and mass starvation, according to Hong Kong-based historian Frank Dicotter. To put this number into perspective, the worldwide death toll for World War II was 55 million. In his autobiography Revolutionary Suicide, published in 1973, Huey P. Newton praised and admitted to drawing upon the tenets of Cuban communist revolutionary Che Guevara and communist Chinese dictator Mao. Newton wrote, "Che and Mao were veterans of people's wars, and they had worked out successful strategies for liberating their people. We read these men's works because we saw them as kinsmen. The oppressor who had controlled them was controlling us, both directly and indirectly. We believed it was necessary to know how they gained their freedom in order to go about getting ours. However, we did not want merely to import ideas and strategies, we had to transform what we learned into principles and methods acceptable to the brothers on the block." Emphasis added. Rather than carbon copying the exact methods of Che or Mao, as Newton explained, he stated that he and the Black Panther Party had to transform what we learned or adapt it to conform to the domestic, urban environment of African Americans in order to successfully wage their revolution in the United States. Regarding the use of violence or armed resistance, Newton wrote in his book, "Mao and Fanon and Guevara all saw clearly that the people had been stripped of their birthright and their dignity, not by any philosophy or mere words, but at gunpoint. They had suffered a hold-up by gangsters, and rape. For them, the only way to win freedom was to meet force with force. At bottom, this is a form of self-defense." If any doubts remain as to Newton's own political leanings or philosophy, he openly admitted the following in his book. "It was my studying and reading in college that led me to become a socialist. The transformation from a nationalist to a socialist was a slow one, although I was around a lot of Marxists. I even attended a few meetings of the Progressive Labour Party, but nothing was happening there, just a lot of talk and dogmatism, unrelated to the world I knew. It was my life plus independent reading that made me a socialist, nothing else." In other words, Newton wasn't just a socialist or Marxist but a far more radical or militant communist than those around him. In 1964, Newton served a 6-month prison sentence for repeatedly stabbing a man named Adil during an altercation. On October 28, 1967, Newton shot and killed Oakland Police Department officer John Frey, after the officer had pulled him over. Newton was convicted of voluntary manslaughter and sentenced to a 2 to 15-year prison sentence. In 1970, the California Court of Appeals reversed the charges and ordered a new round of trials, in which his charges were eventually dropped. Upon his release from prison, Newton visited Communist China following an invitation from the Communist Party-controlled government. During his trip, he met with various high-ranking Communist Party officials including the first Premier of the People's Republic of China Zhou Enlai, Mao's wife Jiang Qing, the North Korean ambassador to China, as well as representatives from both the Communist Party-controlled government of North Vietnam and the then Provisional Communist government of South Vietnam. In his autobiography, Newton described mainland China as a free and liberated territory with a socialist government. This Newton, then, is the namesake of the group to which Dallas shooter Micah Johnson belonged. In fact, on his personal Facebook account, Johnson was a member of various groups including the page of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. To be clear, we have no evidence, and are not suggesting, that the leadership of the club may have had prior knowledge of or condoned Johnson's murder rampage, which they have not condemned as of this writing. But that is not the issue under discussion here. Rather, it is the violent communist ideology that motivated Johnson to kill the pigs, white police officers. Awareness of the communist background of the radical group to which Johnson belonged is vital to understanding the recent wave of coordinated violence against local law enforcement. It is this communist ideology that spawned the recent demonstrations of Black Lives Matter, the nationwide protests from the Revolutionary Communist Party, USA, aka Revcom, and now the murder of multiple police officers by a former member of the Huey P. Newton Gun Club. The police are not the enemy, white people are not the enemy, and black people are not the enemy. The real enemy, however, which is threatening the nation's communities and pitting race against race, is communism. As Mao Zedong wrote in his selected military writings, this protracted war will pass through 3 stages. The first stage covers the period of the enemy's strategic offensive and our strategic defensive. The second stage will be the period of the enemy's strategic consolidation and our preparation for the counteroffensive. The third stage will be the period of our strategic counteroffensive and the enemy's strategic retreat. And this is exactly what is now being played out in the